Hello, beautiful ladies. Welcome to Ever Style, where we celebrate timeless fashion, graceful confidence, and elegant style for women over 50 and 60. Where are you watching from today, and what is your favorite piece of jewelry? Have you ever stopped wearing a piece of jewelry because something about it no longer felt quite right? Imagine spending time choosing the perfect dress, flattering makeup, and elegant shoes only to discover that one small accessory is quietly making your entire appearance look older. The surprising truth is that many women never notice this because the jewelry itself is beautiful. The problem is not beauty, the problem is balance. Jewelry should bring light toward your face, highlight your smile, and complete your outfit. Instead, many women continue wearing the same styles they loved 20 or 30 years ago, without realizing that their features, clothing, and personal style have naturally changed over time. Today, you will meet Susan, a graceful 68-year-old woman who has always believed that classic jewelry never goes out of style. Before attending a family celebration, she decides to visit stylist Claire, age 53, simply to choose earrings that match her outfit. Susan expects a quick shopping trip, but the appointment becomes a surprising lesson that changes the way she looks at every piece inside her jewelry box. Claire begins by saying something Susan never expected to hear. She explains that expensive jewelry can still create an older appearance, while simple jewelry can sometimes look far more elegant. The difference is not the price. It is choosing pieces that create harmony with mature features instead of competing against them. Throughout this video, you will discover 6 common jewelry mistakes that many stylish women unknowingly make. Every mistake comes with an easy, elegant solution that can help your face appear brighter, your outfit look more refined, and your overall style feel effortlessly modern while still remaining timeless. Some of these mistakes involve earrings, others involve necklaces, bracelets, rings, and even the way different pieces are combined together. None of them require replacing your entire collection. In many cases, a simple adjustment creates a remarkable improvement. Susan smiles because she believes she has avoided every one of these mistakes. Claire smiles back because almost every woman says exactly the same thing before looking into the mirror. The very first mistake appears in nearly every jewelry collection, and once Susan compares the difference with her own eyes, she immediately understands why this tiny detail changes everything. Claire gently invites Susan to begin with the first lesson. Instead of showing expensive jewelry, she places 2 simple necklaces on the table. One sits very close to the neck, while the other falls slightly lower. Both appear elegant when viewed separately, yet only one creates balance for Susan. Susan immediately chooses the shorter necklace. Because she has worn similar styles for many years, she smiles confidently. Claire asks her to stand in front of the mirror without saying a single word. Within seconds, Susan notices that her neckline appears shorter and the attention stays on the necklace instead of her face. Claire explains that this is one of the most common jewelry mistakes women over 60 make. A necklace that sits too high can visually shorten the neck, emphasize natural changes around the jawline, and create a crowded appearance, especially when paired with higher necklines or structured collars. She then helps Susan try the slightly longer necklace. Nothing else changes. The same blouse, the same hairstyle, the same makeup, the same lighting. Yet Susan immediately notices that her face appears more open. Her neck looks longer and her overall appearance feels softer and more elegant. Claire reminds Susan that this is not a rule about age. It is a lesson about proportion. As our features naturally evolve, the jewelry that once looked perfect may no longer create the same harmony. Small adjustments often produce the greatest improvements. Susan laughs because she realizes she has blamed her hairstyle and even her foundation for looking tired when the real problem had been sitting around her neck every single day. Claire also explains another important detail. Many women choose necklaces with very large decorative pendants believing they create a luxurious impression. In reality, oversized pendants can pull attention downward, making the face appear less bright and reducing the elegant balance between clothing, jewelry, and facial features. Instead, she recommends graceful designs with clean lines, moderate size, and enough space to allow the eyes to naturally return to the face. Jewelry should support your beauty rather than compete with it. Susan looks into the mirror once more and quietly smiles. The change is subtle but impossible to ignore. She still feels like herself. She still wears jewelry she loves. Yet everything now appears lighter, fresher, and more refined. Claire tells Susan that the first mistake has now been solved, but another, even more common mistake often appears much closer to the face. Many elegant women unknowingly wear it every single day, believing it makes them look sophisticated. When Susan reaches for her favorite earrings, Claire gently smiles because she already knows exactly what Susan is about to discover next. Claire gently places 2 pairs of earrings on the velvet tray. The first pair is large, heavy, and covered with sparkling details. The second pair is smaller, lighter, and beautifully balanced. Susan immediately reaches for the larger earrings because she believes bold jewelry always creates a more luxurious appearance. Claire encourages her to try both pairs before making a decision. Susan first wears the heavier earrings and studies her reflection for several moments. She notices that her eyes seem less noticeable. The earrings become the strongest feature on her face. Instead of creating elegance, they seem to compete for attention. Claire explains that this is the second common jewelry mistake many women over 60 unknowingly make. Oversized heavy earrings can visually pull the face downward, emphasize natural softness around the jawline, and distract from the eyes, which are often the most expressive and beautiful feature of a mature woman. Susan replaces them with the lighter pair. Almost instantly, the difference becomes clear. Her smile appears brighter, her eyes become the natural focal point, and her overall appearance feels softer, fresher, and more graceful. Nothing else has changed, only the earrings. Claire reminds Susan that elegant style is never about wearing the biggest accessory. It is about creating harmony. Every piece should work together instead of competing for attention. When jewelry quietly supports your natural beauty, people notice you before they notice the accessory. She also explains that lightweight earrings offer another important advantage. They remain comfortable throughout the day and reduce unnecessary strain on the ears. Many women continue wearing heavy earrings for years. Without realizing, they can gradually stretch the earlobes, making certain styles less flattering over time. Susan admits that she has kept several oversized earrings simply because they were expensive. Claire smiles kindly and reminds her that value is never measured by price alone. The most valuable piece is the one that helps you feel confident, comfortable, and effortlessly elegant every time you wear it. Together, they compare several different styles, including simple pearls, delicate gold hoops, and refined silver drops. Susan begins noticing that the most graceful designs are often the least complicated. They frame the face without overpowering it, and they complement both casual clothing and elegant evening outfits with equal ease. As Susan carefully places the heavier earrings back into their box, she feels more confident than disappointed. She has not lost her personal style. She has simply learned how to express it more beautifully. Claire then opens another velvet case containing several sparkling bracelets. Because the next mistake is even more common, and many stylish women never realize they are making it until someone finally points it out. Claire gently places several bracelets across the display table. Some are wide, heavily decorated, and stacked together, while others are simple, refined, and beautifully balanced. Susan smiles because she has always believed that wearing several bracelets at once creates a richer and more fashionable appearance. Claire invites Susan to wear every bracelet she normally chooses for special occasions. Susan happily slips them onto her wrist. The collection sparkles beautifully, yet as she moves her hand, the bracelets create visual weight, feature of her outfit, instead of quietly completing it. Claire explains that this is the third common jewelry mistake many women over 60 unknowingly make. Wearing too many bracelets at the same time can make an elegant outfit appear busy, distracting, and less refined. Instead of creating sophistication, the eye struggles to find a natural resting place. Susan removes the bracelets one by one until only a single graceful bracelet remains. The difference surprises her immediately. Her sleeve looks cleaner, her hand appears more delicate, and the entire outfit suddenly feels calmer, more luxurious, and carefully styled. Claire reminds Susan that true elegance rarely depends on quantity. Luxury often comes from thoughtful restraint. Single, beautiful bracelet with timeless design usually creates a stronger impression than several competing pieces worn together. She also explains that oversized, chunky bracelets can sometimes draw unnecessary attention to the hands. Many women naturally notice changes in their hands as they grow. Older and very large accessories may emphasize those details. Instead of creating graceful balance, choosing lighter proportions often produces a softer, more flattering result. Susan admits that she often wore several matching bracelets simply because they came as a complete set. Claire smiles warmly and says there is nothing wrong with owning them. The secret is understanding that owning beautiful jewelry does not always mean wearing every piece at the same time. Together they compare different combinations, including one bracelet with a classic watch, one delicate bracelet worn alone, and another paired with a simple ring. Susan begins seeing how each choice creates a completely different feeling while still looking elegant and timeless. Claire encourages Susan to think about jewelry the same way she thinks about fine perfume. A small amount leaves a memorable impression, while too much can overwhelm everything around it. The same principle applies to elegant accessories. Susan quietly nods because the lesson feels surprisingly simple yet incredibly valuable. She realizes that removing one accessory can sometimes improve an outfit more than buying a new one. Claire then reaches for several beautiful rings because the next mistake is even easier to overlook, and many stylish women unknowingly repeat it every single day without ever questioning whether it still flatters their hands today. Claire carefully arranges several rings across the display table. Some feature large, colorful stones, while others have clean, elegant designs with refined proportions. Susan immediately reaches for a bold statement ring because she believes a larger ring always looks more sophisticated and adds personality to an outfit. Claire invites Susan to wear the ring and simply observe her hands without rushing to judge the result. Susan studies her reflection and quickly realizes that the oversized stone becomes the center of attention. Her graceful hands seem less delicate, while the ring appears heavier than she remembered. Claire explains that this is another common jewelry mistake many women over 60 unknowingly make. Rings that are extremely large, thick, or heavily decorated can overpower the natural elegance of mature hands. Instead of creating balance, they often attract attention away from the complete outfit and focus only on one accessory. She then offers Susan a beautifully crafted ring with a slimmer profile, soft curves, and timeless details. The change is immediate. Her fingers appear longer, her hands look more graceful, and the jewelry feels naturally connected to the rest of her appearance instead of standing apart from it. Claire reminds Susan that elegance rarely comes from choosing the biggest design. It comes from selecting pieces that complement your natural proportions. Every accessory should work together to create harmony rather than competing for attention. She also shares another valuable lesson. Many women mix several bold rings on different fingers, believing this creates a fashionable, layered look. In reality, too many statement rings can make the hands appear visually crowded, especially when combined with bracelets, watches, and detailed clothing. Susan smiles because she suddenly recognizes a habit she has followed for years. She often wore several favorite rings together, simply because each one carried a special memory. Claire gently explains that sentimental jewelry never needs to disappear. Sometimes wearing one meaningful ring allows its story to shine even more beautifully. Together, they experiment with different combinations. One elegant ring beside a simple bracelet creates a refined appearance. Two delicate rings worn with generous spacing also look graceful. Yet every combination becomes less elegant once several oversized pieces are added together. Susan quietly removes the extra rings and admires the softer result. She feels polished, confident, and completely herself without sacrificing the memories connected to her jewelry collection. Claire smiles because one final lesson still remains. It is a mistake that affects every necklace, bracelet, earring, and ring, regardless of style and wants. Susan understands this final principle. Will never choose jewelry in the same way again. Claire closes the final jewelry case and smiles warmly at Susan. She explains that every lesson they have shared today leads to one important principle. The most elegant jewelry is never chosen because it is fashionable, expensive, or impressive. It is chosen because it creates harmony with the woman wearing it. Susan takes one last look at the pieces displayed before her. She notices that the jewelry she now prefers is not necessarily new. It is simply selected with greater intention. Instead of asking which piece attracts the most attention, she now asks which piece allows her natural beauty to shine. Claire encourages Susan to remember one simple habit before leaving home. Each time she finishes getting dressed, she should remove one accessory and then look into the mirror again. If her appearance immediately feels lighter, softer, and more refined, she has probably discovered the perfect balance. She explains that elegant women rarely wear every beautiful piece they own on the same day. They understand that confidence comes from thoughtful choices rather than crowded styling. Every necklace, bracelet, earring, and ring should have a purpose, and together they should create one graceful story instead of competing for attention. Susan quietly compares the way she looked when she first entered the boutique with the woman now smiling in the mirror. She is wearing fewer accessories than before, yet she looks brighter, more confident, and noticeably more sophisticated. The transformation feels natural because nothing about her personality has changed. Only her approach to choosing jewelry has changed. Claire reminds Susan that timeless style is not about following every trend. It is about understanding proportion, balance, simplicity, and quality. These principles remain elegant in every season and at every age. They allow mature beauty to become the center of attention, instead of the accessories themselves. As Susan prepares to leave, she thanks Claire for showing her that small changes often create the biggest improvements. She feels excited to rediscover the jewelry already waiting inside her own collection with fresh understanding and renewed confidence. Now we would love to hear from you. Which jewelry mistake surprised you the most? And which lesson will you try first? Tell us in the comments because your experience may inspire another woman watching today. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and join our style family where we celebrate timeless fashion, graceful confidence, and elegant style for women over 50 and 60. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in our next elegant styling journey together.